Filed for divorce. You and your spouse are getting along well enough you think you can get through on an uncontested divorce. But during the process, problems come up. You're not getting along now and you disagree on several elements. What can you do? Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm attorney Paul Whalen from Afford Law. At Afford Law, we practice criminal and family law throughout Massachusetts. Our fees are all based on your income, so the less you make, the less you have to pay. So, what we're talking about today is starting out on one track, an uncontested divorce track, and perhaps having to move over to the contested track. So, let's just back up for a second and talk about what is an uncontested divorce as opposed to a contested divorce. In an uncontested divorce in Massachusetts, all of the areas of the divorce have to be agreed upon by the two parties, by you and your spouse. So you must agree on every issue involved in the divorce. That includes division of assets, division of debts, if there are children, child custody, child support, and a whole host of other things. Everything must be agreed upon. If there's even one issue that there is not an agreement on, it must be a contested divorce. So let's say you agree with everything except alimony. If that's the issue, then you're bumped off of the uncontested divorce route and pushed onto the contested divorce track. So this is not uncommon. A lot of times people start out that they're just trying to get a divorce. They're just trying to move on with their lives, and they think that they have an agreement. But when push comes to shove, when things start to get divided, and as emotions perhaps get heightened, disagreements occur. Now, all of a sudden, somebody who said that they would be willing to give up some of their personal property wants to hold on to it. Or the child support is not what they thought was going to be, and there's a problem with that. So, what happens is, unless you have a complete agreement on all the issues, you cannot get an uncontested divorce. So, what happens is you would have to file a motion to modify from a 1A or an uncontested divorce to a 1B or a contested divorce. It happens frequently, and once that happens, once you get bumped over there, typically it's going to take a lot longer. It's going to be a lot more expensive because there's a disagreement, and you may ultimately, if you don't come to an agreement, will have to try the case, at least on those particular issues where there is disagreement. Now, all is not lost because if you start out with an uncontested divorce and you come to an agreement on most of the items, at least you have those things that are agreed upon. So you can put those aside. You've got those settled, and you can just focus on the perhaps one or two issues that are now contentious between the two of you. So even though you may have to take a contested route for those issues, at least you have some of the issues settled, and you don't have to worry about them. So you'd have to convert from a 1A to a 1B. Conversely, the same thing is true. It can go in the other direction. So sometimes people file a 1B divorce because they don't think that they'll have agreement with their spouse. So during the course of the divorce itself, negotiations happen and things are hammered out so that you don't have to try the case. So in that case, you would file a motion to convert from a 1B contested divorce to a 1A an uncontested divorce. So it can go back and forth. The thing is with contested divorces, even issues, if it has to go to trial, it is much more expensive. You'll have to prepare for trial. There's more discovery that's due. There might be depositions that have to be taken and so forth. So if at all possible, it's probably in your best interest to see if you can agree upon as many issues as possible in order for your divorce to go smoothly. So that's sort of the formation between uncontested to contested or back. And it can go back and forth. The same divorce can go back and forth. You may start out uncontested, have a problem, go onto the contested track, work out the issues, and then come back to the 1A. So it's a very fluid situation. And if you find yourself in that position, don't be surprised. It does happen fairly frequently. At Afford Law, we do practice family law and criminal law as well in Massachusetts. And our fees are all based on a sliding scale, which is based on your income. That means that the less you make, the less you'll have to pay for our services. Please feel free to visit us at affordlaw.org. and book a free virtual appointment with me. I would be happy to answer any questions you might have about any criminal or family law matters in Massachusetts. Because at Afford Law, we're making justice affordable. Thank you.